Welcome to NBA action. It's that time of the year again, and you can be sure we have all the angles covered.
Carl Minor, baby.
That's gay.
So join us as we take a look back at a wild all-star weekend.
Marley for three. Yeah! What time is it?
Kid's got it right up into the end.
Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game.
The mailman delivers.
Less than a second.
There's Golladay.
Three-pointer. Yes!
Oh, did you see that?
Yes! Yes! Oh! How high can you get up?
We open the show with our marquee matchup, the 43rd annual All-Star Game at Salt Lake City. The NBA's best were gathered at the Delta Center to stage what was to be one of the most competitive All-Star games ever. The scene was set, and these gifted players were not about to disappoint as they put on a fantastic show, displaying their unbelievable abilities.
Here comes Michael Jordan. Oh, man. He slipped the defense, took it in, switched to the left hand. Oh.
Ric Flair answers at the other end.
After one period, the West was up by 1 point, 27-26, and it was clear this game wasn't going to be a blowout.
All the West starters had scored. Barkley to Robinson.
After several lead changes throughout the half, the East found themselves down by 5 points as they headed into halftime.
Last shot of the half.
Tipped in.
Oh, what a play.
Danny Manning.
In the second half, neither side could seize control of the game. The West did all it could to pull away, putting together great defense at one end and turning it into easy points at the other. However, the unbelievable three-point shooting of Cleveland's Mark Price kept the East team close, and it was only a one-point game heading into the final quarter.
Price was his third tray. Ties it at 84. Here comes the East down by 3. Price. Can he tie it? Yes!
In the fourth, Utah's John Stockton and Karl Malone began to assert themselves, much to the delight of the hometown fans.
By the West, and it's Malone inside, and they love that in Salt Lake.
And with the West up by 2 with only 10 seconds to play, Patrick Ewing calmly nailed a 12-footer.
Ewing is open. 119, 119. Hardaway. Overtime. Oh, my.
In the extra session, the West pulled away as the Suns' Dan Marley and Charles Barkley hit some really big three-pointers.
That's good three.
Sir Charles.
And as the West prevailed, John Stockton and Karl Malone walked away with a big prize.
1993 All-Star MVPs John Stockton and Karl Malone. A Utah Jazz parlay.
The action-packed All-Star Game was the culmination of a fun-filled weekend. On Saturday, the exciting festivities began with the Schick Legends Classic. Players from both squads gathered before the game and reminisced about those glory days.
Hey, let's go, fellas. Come on, get your jackets on. We're going out.
With greats such as Connie Hawkins, Maurice Lucas, Hot Rod Hundley, and Calvin Murphy on hand, the show was ready to begin. Of course, early on, some of these guys weren't on top of their game.
Jamal Wilkes. Bob Love to Connie Hawkins. The finger roll.
But eventually, the talent did shine through, as we caught a glimpse of some of the all-time legends.
And the hook.
Yes!
Tell Hot Rod, no more shots. Shots are not in the deal.
George Gervin would ice the game's MVP award.
George Gervin with the hook shot.
Despite Gervin's exploits, the East ran away with a victory. Next up was the AT&T long-distance shootout. The game's greatest marksmen all gathered at the Delta Center to try to unseat the three-time defending champion Craig Hodges. Everyone was gunning for the top spot, and two guys were really feeling it.
Porter stroking it very, very nicely. Boy, he's shooting it. Well, look at him stroking. He is stroking it.
Unfazed, Hodges advanced to the semifinals as he kept knocking him down. But when he got there, Mark Price overshadowed the champ with a shooting spree that put the crowd into a frenzy and Hodges out of the contest.
They love it at the Delta Center, and the three-time defending
In the finals, Price went first and put the heat on Porter.
Gotta have better than 18. This is gonna get down to the wire.
And to the final rack it would go, as Terry needed only one to tie or two to win.
He needs this one to swing in.
Price's heart-wrenching victory would be tough to outdo for drama, but the participants in the Gatorade Slam Dunk Contest would still show their best stuff. Every slam dunker tried to take center stage, but there was room for only one in the spotlight.
Harold Miner, the rookie from Miami.
Harold Miner, baby. Harold Miner.
The rookie soared into the finals, where even defending champ Cedric Sabalas couldn't stop Miner from striking gold in Utah.
New slam dunk king, Miner is Miner. At the Delta Center.
In our action reel, we showcase some red-hot teams that are streaking into the second half of the season. First off, the Houston Rockets. Winners of their last 16 out of 20, the Rockets began their week by routing the Philadelphia 76ers.
Hakeem saves it right over here on the table. He's got a 29-point lead. He's flying around the floor, and Kenny Smith nails a two.
2 nights later, they destroyed the Boston Celtics by 32 points and showed that they're ready to make a push towards the playoffs.
But the last 2 games, the Rockets have shown a killer instinct I've never seen before.
Like Houston, the Cleveland Cavaliers are making their move, and Eastern Conference teams like the Knicks and the Bulls better watch their backs. Earlier in the week, point guard Mike Price celebrated his 29th birthday by scoring 26 points and running the Cavs streak to 3.
Price outside for the long three. Got it!
The Mavericks were their next victim, as the #1 ranked team in assists picked apart Dallas with their precision passing.
Back outside to Hot Rod, right side to Ferry, back to Hot Rod, drive with a right hand slam.
Still scorching out west are the Suns, who have consistently risen above the competition. In town were the Boston Celtics, and it was obvious that the visitors weren't quite ready for Phoenix.
Here comes the Sun. Look at Sir Charles dribbling like a 6-foot guard. All the way! How about that? Huh? To Barkley, behind the back. Tabor scores!
The Suns ran their league-leading win total to 38. And against the Atlanta Hawks, they continued to soar. As Richard Dumas scored a career-high 32 points, proving that he's just another Sun who's no fun to play against, but he's sure fun to watch.
Barkley to Dumas through the paint. Oh, 2 more. You see him change hands? A very entertaining team to watch, these Phoenix Suns.
While the Suns have led the charge so far this season, in our inside look, we see there's been a lot of excitement generated around the league, even with the departures of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, who both bid us farewell.
But Magic, there's one thing. We can agree upon that we're retired now, right?
Right.
We probably will never come back again.
No.
But I want to ask you, then will you get the hell out of my dreams?
With the 2 legends gone, a brand new breed of rookies have taken the league by storm.
Here, this is Irvin Johnson right there. That's the Magic Johnson move. Warning back with a reception. Edwards takes it in. I have Warning for 2 blocks. Pass underneath. A beautiful pass. Oh, Laettner is a complete player. Bill powers it back up. Shaq whats it out of bounds.
With all the new competition, the Bulls' bid for three-peat has been difficult. And though they've been knocked around a bit, they still have their sights set on a championship.
That's really our goal. Try and get the home court advantage on the Eastern Conference floor and go in the playoffs at full board.
Also vying for the Eastern Conference home court advantage are Pat Riley's Knicks. Tough defense has been the key, and New York has taken 2 of their first 3 meetings with Chicago this season, propelling them to the top of the Atlantic Division.
Backflip Ewing.
While New York and Chicago fight it out in the East, The team with the league's best record is Charles Barkley's Phoenix Suns. Sir Charles is having an MVP-type season, and his superb play is rubbed off on all of his teammates. With the Suns as front-runners in the West, George Karl's Sonics have been staying close behind all season, led by new All-Stars Shawn Kemp.
The Sonics are beginning to take hold up there right now.
Taking hold in New Jersey are Chuck Daly's Nets, who are now a winning ball club and a serious threat in the East.
One from midcourt. Oh, you gotta love it.
In San Antonio, John Lucas took over for Jerry Tarkanian early in the season. And now, the Spurs have taken over in the Midwest.
5 on the shot clock for A.J. Driving on Jackson.
Other comings and goings in the coaching ranks saw Jimmy Rogers let go in Minnesota and replaced by Sidney Lowe, who's trying to get the T-Wolves on a winning track. Garfield Hurd took over for the hapless Mavericks when Richie Adubato was dismissed after over 3 seasons in Dallas. It's been a struggle for the Warriors, especially since superstar Chris Mullin went down with a thumb injury. And back from injury this year is Dominique Wilkins, who recently set a Hawks franchise record, surpassing the great Bob Pettit.
Off the glass, he got it. Dominique Wilkins is the all-time Hawks franchise career scoring leader.
Welcome back to NBA action. Don't get too close to these guys, because they've been the hottest players around this year. Leading our on-fire posse is Charles Barkley, who's had plenty to smile about. Sir Charles has put up some big numbers, but it's his spirit that's igniting the Suns.
Count the hoop, and yeah, he shows emotion.
Adding to his 26 points and 13 rebounds per game is Barkley's toughness. And a flair for the dramatic.
Throws up a three-pointer. Shazam! Oh, brother!
Meanwhile, in Charlotte, the Hornets' Larry Johnson has become a Barkley disciple. Averaging 23 points and 10 boards a game, Johnson is also a fiery competitor.
And get excited, Larry. Get excited just a bit. Thanks. Thanks, Larry.
Last season's Rookie of the Year hasn't slowed down a bit. The Rockets' big man has had a dreamlike season. Hakeem Olajuwon has been terrorizing opponents with 25 points and 13 rebounds a game.
3, rims it out. Olajuwon! Oh, baby!
While would-be stoppers try to figure out how to stop his scoring, Olajuwon is still the best on the block. Tim Hardaway is going at a nice pace himself, and he's been picking and moving all season long.
Did he have that diagnosis? There's the most exciting moment of the game.
Hardaway is the only player averaging over 20 points and 10 assists per game, and he's doing it in exciting fashion.
Hardaway fires!
Of course, the hottest guy of them all is Michael Jordan, who's been flying in from everywhere.
Oh, yes, here comes Mike!
Jordan has poured in 32 points per game and seems destined to capture his 7th straight scoring title.
Jordan, time winding down. Michael for 3. Yeah! Yes, yes, yes!
While our on-fire brigade cooled off enough to enjoy the festivities in Utah. In this week's news, notes, and quotes, we find that this year's All-Star Weekend had participation from both players and fans alike. The NBA Jam Session presented by Fleer offered up a serving of everything a Hoops fan could ever want. The event, held at the Salt Palace, allowed basketball fans of all ages the chance to look and sound like the pros.
And he's full of ball, and he's running down the other end of the court. He's running, and he's there!
Well, I think the thing that's incredible about it, first of all, it's the first time that they've done something like this, and I'm sure it'll go on forever.
It's a basketball festival. It's a party. It's wonderful.
Meanwhile, the Delta Center hosted a different kind of party this weekend. The NBA's 4th annual Stay in School Jam. It was an hour of performers and players dedicated to getting out the word on getting an education.
And yeah, staying in school is something we really believe in. Y'all believe in it too?
On Saturday, the heroes of the game took center stage at the Schick Legends Classic as the East defeated the West 58-45. Defending champion Craig Hodges was denied a 4th straight AT&T long-distance title.
Mark Price is the new AT&T Shootout
champion. And in the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship, it was Miami's Harold Miner who struck it rich in Utah.
That's gay. That's gay.
And finally, on Sunday, all eyes would turn to the 43rd annual All-Star Game. It would be the first All-Star contest in 6 years to require overtime. And it took some home cooking to help the West to a 3-point victory.
Stockton with a steal. Marley right back to Stockton, who gives to his teammate Malone. And the home crowd loves that.
John Stockton and Karl Malone would share co-MVP honors, bringing to a close a spectacular weekend of basketball for all involved.
It's just a show. It's the greatest show on earth. And this is the love of the game right here. This is what these guys here now are here for, the love of the game. The guys who's in the contest, the guys who's in the All-Star game. And that's why it's so great.
Now, in a special player profile, a 19-time All-Star holds court. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was one of the most dominating players in NBA history. Withstanding the test of time during a 20-year career, he gave fits to even the worthiest of opponents. With precision and a fluid grace, which was his alone, Jabbar entered the NBA as a young phenom with the Milwaukee Bucks. While no one ever questioned his physical gifts, it was his intuitive instincts which helped him take center stage.
His mental game grew and grew. He learned players. He learned what he could do in certain situations. And he learned to think out there. He learned the timing aspect of the game, which is so important also. And he learned the skyhook.
His skyhook led the young expansion Milwaukee Bucks to a championship in 1971, only Kareem's second year in the league. And he easily garnered Finals MVP honors. But that was only the beginning. As Kareem said about proving that he was one of the game's greatest centers, no one was left unimpressed.
He presented to me for the first time in my career of basketball a guy that I felt that I really needed some help to guard.
Traded to the Lakers in 1975, Kareem gave a new look and high hopes to his new team. Following in the great Wilt Chamberlain's footsteps, Jabbar took over as the giant among giants and helped the Lakers continue its rich winning tradition. He was the regular season MVP 6 times, winning it 3 times with LA, and always doing it with his incomparable weapon.
The hook shot, you're looking over your shoulder and the ball is out away from you. So the triangulation is a lot different, and a lot of people aren't that familiar with it. And I guess, you know, the jump shot looks prettier to the girls or something.
The powerful image of the skyhook reached nightmarish proportions for the 76ers in the 1980 finals.
The time I got on him, he said, Magic, come here. Magic gave him the ball, just brought it to him all day. 40 points, skyhook, 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 skyhook. I went home that night, I was in the bed. Skyhook, skyhook, scared for the skyhook.
At age 38, Jabbar continued his postseason mastery as he led LA to their first finals victory over Boston.
4 on the shot clock. Kareem goes up and stumps it through. 2-man game. Magic and Kareem, the skyhook hit.
Throughout that series, he led us. He was just a man possessed, and he made us follow him. And he made us just be focused from here on out. And that's why we won.
In all, Kareem captured 6 titles to add to his list of accomplishments, making him perhaps the greatest player of all time. Now it's time to roll out the red carpet for the top 10 plays of the first half of the year.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown. For starters, the Plastic Man lays waste to the Warriors.
Oh, Stacy! Plastic Man! Oh! That brought the crowd to life. 20.
And at number 9, some divine intervention for Houston's Robert Horry.
Robert Horry! He dunked it in with the other hand, but it won't count. But boy, I want to see it again.
Ooh, this Dennis can sure be a menace. Just watch.
Over and rejected by Dennis Rodman. What an enormous block. And Rodman comes away with a big smile on his face.
For number 7, it's MJ making a mockery of the Pacers.
Jordan! Yes! Oh, yes! Michael has saved his best for last.
Hey, 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 here comes Super Mario to saddle the Spurs.
Ahead to Strickland to Elliott. Yes! He jammed it down with the right hand.
At number 5, it's time once again for some Mullen magic.
What a look by Hardaway and the flip off the glass by Mullen.
And a no-look shot.
Something right out of the Globetrotters.
Hey, watch out for a hungry Pac-Man gobbling up the wool.
Oh, my goodness! Touchdown! Wentworth of a sack! That should count for 7.
Oh, and check out number 3. Danny Ainge finds his range with this desperation play.
If Ainge makes this one.
He did! I don't believe it! Unbelievable! Ainge makes the 3! Look at the smile on Danny Ainge.
Oh, after this Shaq attack, you can bet there's a silent morning.
Oh, what a dunk! Oh, he came flying out of nowhere.
I don't know if there's a man alive that could have stopped that slam.
And this week's number 1 play, Chris Jackson sinks the Clippers ship from long distance.
1 second, Jackson for the game. Yeah! Oh, my! Chris Jackson! It looks like they just won the NBA title.
I'm Jim Fagan. See you next week.
The NBA is presented to you in association with Nike.